Welcome to polypsych.org.
Almost there, just one more time.
Welcome to polypsych.org.
So before we jump into Clinton's loss to Trump and how she is blaming everyone except herself.
But I was on the way to winning. I thought I was going to win. But for that intervention, I would have won. I would have won, but for Jim Comey's letter. Absent that, I believe, and I think the evidence shows, I would have won. But for that Comey letter, she would have won. If the election been on October 27th, I'd be your president. You know, he didn't win the popular vote. He squeaked through in the Electoral College.
We did win, in fact.
Well, I won the popular vote.
I did win the women's vote. I got more white women votes than Barack Obama did.
Our press, which is such an essential part of our country, our democracy, has to take some hard look at how it covered what was the first reality TV candidate.
Did you make enough mistakes yourself to lose the election without any of the other things you talk about?
Well, I will say no, Matt.
Let's talk about the Democratic primary. So WikiLeaks released 20,000 emails where DNC staff plotted against Bernie Sanders. So here's why that's a big deal. Because the DNC on paper is supposed to take the people's vote and through a system of delegates assign votes to the most popular candidate. They're supposed to be an impartial judging body between the Democratic Party and the candidates. The key word being impartial. In this case, we have emails that suggest they simply did not want Bernie Sanders to win. DNC staffer said, and I quote, "If she outperforms this polling, the Bernie Sanders camp will go nuts and allege misconduct. They'll probably complain regardless, actually." Another staffer said, "I'm wondering if there's a good Bernie narrative for a story where Bernie never ever had his act together and this campaign was just a mess." And that's from the Deputy Communications Director, Mark Paustenbach. So the DNC conspired to cheat Bernie Sanders from the start. First question is, aren't there rules that the DNC official has to vote according to their constituency? Kinda. So the answer is yes, but we have super delegates who are allowed to support any candidate for presidential nomination. It's like the DNC wild card, where they can essentially take democracy out of the election, huddle up, and decide who half the country wants as king. You know what that kind of reminds me of? When parents turn to their children and ask like what they want to eat for dinner. Do you want Chinese or do you want pizza? And the kid says pizza, and then the parents huddle up and say, "Okay, dang, I really thought they were going to say Chinese." So they just get Chinese. So that's how the election works. It's like they'll turn to the Democratic Party. Like the DNC will let the children vote, and then they huddle up and decide, nah, Hillary Clinton.
Well, you know, he knew what the rules were when he decided to run for president, but most importantly, I think we will reach whatever number is required. We're going to continue to acquire delegates and add to our total. I have more delegates than he does in a broader margin than President Obama had over me at this time in 2008. So I think we're doing well.
Fast forward to Clinton losing to Trump because she sucks as a candidate. Seriously, look at the time we live in. Look at the way people are voting. They wanted outside candidates. Even internationally, you had Marine Le Pen and Emmanuel Macron, who were both outsiders. Anyway, back to Hillary Clinton. The establishment candidate versus Trump, the billionaire outsider with a strong Republican base. Quick aside, why are Democrats so afraid of tapping into their base of super libs and progressives? Do you think they'll lose the middle by supporting rising wages, equal rights, and the cessation of wars in the Middle East? Or is it the Democratic Party just a straw man for the Republican Party to get what they want?
We have a Republican president who ran as a candidate, as the most unpopular candidate in modern history of this country. Republicans control the House, the Senate, 2/3 of governor's chairs. And in the last 8 years, they have picked up 900 legislative seats. Clearly, the Democratic Party has got to change. And in my view, what it has got to become is a grassroots party, a party which makes decisions from the bottom on up, a party which is more dependent on small donations than large donations.
I think that's it for the show today. Go to polypsych.org, submit any questions, any topics, any headlines that you would like for us to cover on the show. If you got any essays that you published in or wrote in high school or college, we publish them on the on polypsych.org. And then if you talked about something cool, then we'll discuss it on the show as well. So go to polypsych.org, submit your essays, or submit any topics you want us to cover, or any books you want us to review, or anything cool, really. Especially YouTube videos. If you have any really like cool YouTube videos that we can talk about on the show, please go to polypsych.org and submit it. Later.